Her daughter was an amazing young woman, first in her class, just amazing in every way. So I just want to say thank you to the whole Root family, incredible family. All right, so we are going to take on special interests, a lobbyist, and the corrupt corporate media that have rigged the system against every single American. I've been reading stories over the last couple of days that are so inaccurate and so dishonest. I have never seen anything like it in my life. And I'm willing to take it on because, and I didn't need it, believe me, I didn't need it. I have a great company. I built this great company. And somebody said, you know, he could be at a point where he's enjoying the fruits of his labor. And here I am working harder than ever before. I'm like a lot of people in the different rooms in the different stadiums where it's true. Where 18 years ago, their wages and real wages were higher than they are today. They had one job. Now they have two jobs. They're working much harder, and they're making much less money. And that's what's happened in our country. And the only thing I can say is I'm also working harder, okay? So we're working harder together. We're working a lot harder together. And I'm spending a lot of money on my campaign. I'm spending tremendous tens and tens and tens of millions of dollars. And I like it because you know what? We're not going to be controlled. We're not going to be controlled. So important. We're not going to be controlled. We're going to take our country back, and it's going to be a beautiful thing. This is a movement. We have a movement going on like I think they've never seen before. And everybody's talking about it. The big thing is on November 8th, we have to get out there, folks. Otherwise, this movement will be wonderful to read about someday. But you know what? It won't mean a damn thing, okay? Won't mean, to me, won't mean a damn thing. We're going to create new government that serves you, your family, and your country. Lower taxes by a lot. Less regulation. More affordable child care. Fair trade deals, secure borders, thriving family farms, millions and millions of new jobs. We're going to end the Clinton corruption, total corruption. Horrible. Horrible. What's going on in this country is horrible. And restore dignity and honesty to government service. Hillary Clinton is an insider fighting for her donors and her insiders, mostly fighting for herself. I am an outsider fighting for you. We're fighting together. Fighting together. Everything you need to know about Hillary Clinton can be understood with this simple phrase: follow the money. And believe me, that's what's happened. In her campaign for president, Hillary Clinton has received $100 million in contributions from Wall Street and the hedge funds. She received $4.1 million in speaking fees from financial firms. I'd like to see what she said. Where are the papers, Bernie? Bernie was asking for the papers, but Bernie gave up. The same groups paying Bill and Hillary for their speeches were lobbying the federal government. 22 groups paying Bill Clinton for speeches lobbied the State Department while Hillary was Secretary of State. And don't forget that Clinton contributors were appointed to advisory boards by the Secretary Clinton, or all the favors and access was granted. And guess what? They wrote checks. The favors were granted. And all of these people, or at least a lot of them, wrote checks. She even gave up 20% of uranium. You know what happens with uranium, don't you? And who controls that 20%? Russia. 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 She disgraced the office of Secretary of State by putting it up for sale. And if she ever got the chance, she would put the Oval Office up for sale too, and nobody has any doubt about it. And we can't let that happen. That's why you have to go out and vote on November 8th, and early voting in Iowa starts tomorrow. Get out. Don't take a chance. Don't take a chance. Do not take a chance. She deleted and bleached 33,000 emails. Nobody ever heard of the bleaching. Nobody ever heard of it. And they don't use it. It's a very expensive process. People don't use it. But she used it, and nobody understands how she can get a congressional subpoena. She gets the subpoena. This didn't happen before the subpoena. She gets the subpoena, and she then goes out and she deletes 33,000 emails. You know, if somebody sues you and they want your records and you do that as a private citizen, it's, you know where you go. She gets a congressional subpoena, and I'm so disappointed with the people in Washington for allowing her to get away with this. I'm so disappointed. And that means on both sides, by the way. I am so disappointed when they say there's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do. She gets rid of 13 phones. How many people have gotten rid of 13 phones? And how many people? You got one hand. What business are you in? What's your business? I think he was just a wise guy, that's all. But she destroyed a number of them with a hammer. How many people have destroyed an iPhone or a phone with a hammer? Anybody in the room? A couple of hands go up. I don't know if they're kidding. I think they're kidding, but who knows? Her staffers taking the Fifth Amendment. How about that? And her ringleaders getting immunity. Now, she has people taking the Fifth Amendment. 4 people plus the guy who illegally did the server. You know, he put it in the illegal server. So there are 5 people taking the Fifth Amendment, like you see on the mob, right? You see the mob takes the Fifth. If you're innocent, why are you taking the Fifth Amendment? And then they read a whole list of charges. She's guilty on every one of them. And then what do they say? But that's okay. And yet other people that have done 2% of what she did, their lives have been destroyed. You tell me. You tell me what's going on with our country, what's going on with our government. Foreign enemies with easy access to hack her server, lies to Congress under oath about turning over her work-related emails, which are largely destroyed, although I have a feeling they can get emails. You know, I've always heard you really can't destroy emails. I don't think they tried too hard to get them. Do you? Does anybody think? I don't think they tried too hard. The Clintons have perfected the politics of profit, but more importantly, when you look at what's happening, I think it has more to do with other things. Large corporations who support terrible trade deals and offshore jobs, and they're donating to the Clintons. When you look at some of the deals that we all have to suffer with, and you look at the deals that are made, a lot of those deals, it's not because the politicians are so stupid. Now, in some cases, they are. Seriously. But not all. Probably in most they aren't. A friend of mine said to me, how is it possible that such and such a deal was made? And then you look at who's making contributions to the campaign, and you see why the deal is made. Okay? It's very sad when you look at it. And what does it mean? It means our jobs are fleeing our country. Our companies that employ the people are leaving for Mexico and other places. China can devalue their currency and do whatever they want. The Wall Street investors who have rigged the regulations against the middle class, they're donating to Hillary Clinton. They're certainly not donating to me. The wealthy donors who want to shut down American energy, they're donating to Hillary Clinton. And by the way, ethanol, we like ethanol, right? We like ethanol. The special interests who want open borders are donating to Hillary Clinton. And you have your problems here with open borders. And I've been hearing a lot about open borders. Even here, you don't think of this part of the world for open borders. You have your problems. A lot of people are telling me. That's why Hillary Clinton is pushing. Oh, we'll build a wall. We will build that wall. Believe me, we're going to build a wall. We're going to build a wall. And Mexico's going to pay for the wall. Believe me, 100%. Mexico's doing very well thanks to the United States. Mexico is very happy with the United States. Mexico's leaders are so much smarter than our leaders. So Hillary Clinton's pushing for a 550% increase in Syrian refugees coming into our country. It's actually unbelievable. I have to be, I sit up here and I stand up here and I do all of these speeches and discussions and I read all I read and I see all I see. And you hear a thing like that, 550% increase. In fact, I used to say 500% and the press said, Trump is wrong. So I figured, wow. I figured it's 300, 400, 500% lower. They said he was wrong. It's actually a 550% increase. In other words, she's allowing more. They even correct you on the upside. That's the first time that ever happened. She and her financial backers will say anything to do anything. They lie about anything to keep their grip and power, to keep their control over the country. The American people have had it with corrupt Clinton ways. They've had it. They've had it. They're tired of the lies. They're tired of trivial politics. They're tired of being talked down to, looked down upon, and treated like second-class citizens. Smart people not being treated right. How many more Clinton scandals can this country take? One after another after another. You know the story, folks. You've seen it for years and years. And we can't take another 4 years of Barack Obama, and we can't take another 4 years of crooked Hillary Clinton. You can't do it. They're the sordid past. We're going to have a bright future. We're going to make America great again. We're going to make America greater than ever before. We can do that. But if we don't win this election, it'll never, ever happen. I tell you what, we're never going to have another shot. This is it. The tables will be turned, and it'll be too late. While our campaign outlines big changes and bold solutions to make your life better, the Clinton campaign focuses only on small and petty distractions. Never in American history have so many serious challenges been met with so unserious a campaign as the campaign of Hillary Clinton. And I'll tell you what, we had the debate the other night, and every single online poll had we winning by sometimes a landslide. And then you go on television, and these are Time magazine, Drudge, phenomenal man, Drudge, big groups. I mean, other than I'm on the cover of Time magazine a lot. They're no friends of mine, believe me. And I'm winning by massive margins in many cases. And one was 80% to 20%. But I'm winning all of these polls. How many were there? 7 or 8 or 9? Hundreds of thousands of votes. And then I have to sit back and you have to sit back and hear how those polls don't mean anything. But when they poll 300 people, that means a lot, right? And so we won every single online poll. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of voters. And then you sit back and you hear how she did so well in the debate. I don't think she did well in the debate at all. I don't think she did well at all. And I just walked in and I saw some of the great people that represent your state. And they said, wow, you did so great in the debate. And we understand it. We understand it. And we'll see as the polls start coming out, the other polls having to do with the states. But I hear we're doing very well. We're leading in Ohio. We're leading in Florida. We're leading in North Carolina.